1. Okay. Three, two, one. Okay. 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 Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Three, two, one. Okay. Okay.
Hello everybody. Before we get started, as always, I want to give a shout out to the lovely music we've been listening to during pre-stream here. This is Dreamer by Declan DP. You can find their information in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Thank you to Declan and everybody like them who makes other free-to-use or low-cost assets for us streamers. Thank you very much. Haja! Hello everyone, it is I, Deuscain, your variety tape streamer for the night. And tonight, we're going to be returning to Tavern Talk, a visual novel set in a fantasy universe in which we are a bartender. We serve drinks and quests. And I think we're trying to save the world. I strongly suspect that that's a thing going on. Anyway, we're deep in Act 3. And I don't know when the game's going to end. Could be tonight. Could be maybe next time. Maybe the time after that. But we're getting there. We're getting there this month. Pretty sure. But before we get jumping into that, as always, I want to do a little bit of chatting beforehand. Also, thank you, Robbie, for the well wishes for the nice stream. Thank you, thank you. But I've had a long day today. So how can I start this story? So I do work in my day-to-day life. Oh, well, those are broken. Why are those broken? Why are things broken? Oh, I just had to re-sign back in. Anyway, sorry, my Stream Deck was acting up. But, so, I work in IT for a company, and I inherited much of my office and its equipment from my predecessor. It looked like it had been a while since he'd cleaned up. Then, afterwards, we downsized to a smaller office, and I have way more things than I can fit in there. So I set a bunch of it aside, saying I'm going to talk to management and we're going to schedule a disposal of this equipment, because I can't just throw it out. It's like some of it's hard drives and stuff. You got to make sure that that's taken care of properly. So, been waiting for that for months. The week that I got COVID, I'm logging into Teams chat to like let people know what's going on, to check and make sure that other people that I was in contact with the week before aren't sick. And a guy starts messaging me about the disposal. He wants numbers. Yes. Not just how much we've got, serial numbers. And he says he wants them by Friday. I'm like, my brother in Christ, I have COVID. You're not getting these serial numbers by Friday. I don't care who you are. You are the weeping mama of Christ. You're not getting them. So he was hounding me a bit last week too. Like, oh, we really need these. We really need these right away. I'm like, fine. I will go in on Monday. I will make an inventory spreadsheet of everything you're going to possibly need. And I'm going to take care of it. Be quiet and leave me alone. That took me all fucking day. In part because recording any kind of serial numbers manually by hand is a pain in the butt. I do have a scan gun that can grab barcode information, but a great many of our items in inventory are Dell equipment that does not have a barcode. It has a QR code, which the barcode reader does not detect. It doesn't see it. It doesn't know what to do with it. Also, a bunch of these are like super tiny barcodes. Like we have like really old hard drives and stuff like that. So it's super, super tiny and it's hard to get the scanner to like pick it up. So I spent more than an hour this morning just on old hard drives. We have like 40 hard drives that need to be disposed of that were just sitting in a cabinet. I honestly didn't even like, I remember finding them and because I transferred everything over to my new office and I'm like, yeah, I have this cabinet here. I have no idea what's in it. Probably nothing important. And turns out, no, full of hard drives. Just full of hard drives. So, took me like over an hour to do the hard drives. And then I went into one room where I knew I had some equipment stored and found out that our local facilities guy had like put it all in like a cabinet that he moved in there. He's gonna take it all out, check everything over for barcodes and stuff, log everything, log like what the log the serial number information, log the log what the hell it even is. So you should like name, manufacturer, model, and then like if we have multiple, like log that. So I got to lunch and I finished 2 of the 3 rooms that I had intended to do. After lunch I get back and there's a guy that came into the office because his computer's been having a lot of battery issues today, or not today, recently, like for the last few months, and I've been working with him. So found out that I had requested a battery be sent to him, or be sent to me to install for him. That was supposed to have been delivered on Wednesday of last week. No one knows where it is. No one's seen it. So I'm on the phone. I'm in chat with the people that sent it, and I'm like, "Where did you send it to? Let me double check the address." And they give me the address back, and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that looks right. Did you put a floor number and a room number on it?" And they went, "No." I'm like, "We're in a 3-story building with 6 different office suite rooms. Please tell me you didn't send it to the wrong room." So I'm getting ready to go over and like check somewhere else. I'm like, "Oh, we found it thing. You know, let me, I just found the receipt. We sent it to room," and I read what they sent, and I'm like, "That's not our room. It's on the same floor. That's not our room. You sent it to the wrong office. That's why we don't have it." "Oh, that's why this guy signed for it." "Yeah, he's over in the other office. It's not us. You sent it to the wrong room." "Oh, we've sent stuff there for years." "Well, we haven't been in that office for years. I don't know if we were ever in that office. We're sure not there now. I've been there almost a year. We've never been in that office the whole time I've been there. You haven't had that office probably for several years." Like, dear God. So, yeah. So I go over to the office, I knock on the door, I'm like, "Hey, you might have a package for me." Like, "I know exactly what you're talking about." I'm like, "Great, lovely, wonderful, fantastic." So I have my package. The guy's in the office. I still need to do my 3rd room. And I get another message from somebody. "Hey, we were supposed to talk at 1:15 about my software problems." I'm like, son of a bitch. I missed an appointment with somebody. I try to get into her computer to work on it and fix it. I can't get in. She's got to leave in 10 minutes to go attend a meeting. I'm like, "You know what? We'll deal with it later. I want to give you the time." I think it's a simple fix. I think it's this. We don't have time to deal with it right now. Like, you've got a meeting. I've got something to do. We're going to go deal with that. So, so I've got the battery now. My appointment with the customer has been rescheduled. I let the guy who needs the battery know, like, I've got the battery. I had this other stuff I'm working on. I thought I told him to let me know when he was done with the meeting he was in. Apparently, I messed that up. But I take my laptop over. I put my laptop on wireless. I take it over to the 3rd room. And I'm like, "You know what? I just got back from lunch. Let me go use the restroom." So I put my laptop down, put the scanner in on it. I leave the room and I make sure I have the keys on me. Then I go to the bathroom. I come back. The fucking door isn't opening. I can't get back into the room that has my laptop. Y'all, the panic that I felt. The panic that I felt. I got the damn door open eventually, but dear God in heaven. So I cracked the door open completely while I was in there working and had like 3 layers of stuff to go through, including more than a dozen monitors. No, I think 1 monitor had like a working barcode on it. The rest of them were all just shit. And I had to manually type in these long ass chain of like 20 or so digits for the serial numbers, and it's like letters and numbers, and it's just took for fucking ever. And I'm getting to the end of it all, and I'm like bending over to look at stuff as the sweat is dripping off my face, because this is a storage room. It is not ventilated. There's electrical equipment in here. The lights are on. It's hot. I have noise canceling headphones in, or earbuds in, because like I'm just so close to like the electrical like box. I can hear the electrical buzzing, and it's just this loud noise in my ears. And I'm like, I have to block this out. I have to work. Right around that time, the guy came and found me. He's like, yeah, my laptop shut off like a little while ago. I thought you were gonna message me. I'm like, I thought you were gonna message me. Oh, was I supposed to? Let me finish this up and I'll go help. So I went over there. I took care of it. The guy's got his new battery installed. I went into my office and did one last little bit of stuff for some old laptops and desktops we need to get rid of, which thankfully were super easy to tag. I can just tap with the barcode reader. Those are actually nice. And then I left work a little bit late, but I took care of it. But yeah. Interesting. I'm trying out a new feature that in my Steam Deck. Interesting. Okay. We'll see how those work. But yeah. So I've had a long day with just me and my laptop and my little scan gun and just hoping and praying that this crap will scan. And much of it did not. So much of it had to be manually entered. Luckily, some of the worst things did actually scan. Because we had like authenticators were used for sign-in, like keychain dongles. I had like 40 of those. Every single one of them scanned. And I was so happy for that. I was so happy. But so much of the rest of it I had to just type. I'm just like, there either wasn't a barcode or the barcode didn't work. And I'm just like, well, I guess it's pain. I guess it's pain and suffering tonight. Oh, man. But yeah, so that's how my Monday's gone. Relatively quiet. Oh, also one other thing. While I was like checking email at one point during the day, I found out that somebody, even though I had told the managers, even though I had said something in our team chat, somebody assigned a ticket to me today. And it's like, hey, this person can't get in the computer at all. And I'm like, well, sucks for them. I have no time to help. They're just going to be down today. They're just going to have to be down today. I can't believe they sent that to me. Anyway, we're jumping over to the game now. Alright, I need to update that. Because I updated my follower goal for, you know what, let me take care of that quick now. Sorry, everybody. A little bit of behind-the-scenes stuff. Good, that updated. Excellent. All right, Act 3, Part 17, In Pursuit of Entropy. I still don't know how many parts there are in this. Like... Hmm. What the heck is this? This isn't about Tavern Talk. Oh, it's an Octopath Traveler thing. No. I'm not getting a quick and simple answer, and we're in the middle of streaming, so absolutely not. In Pursuit of Entropy, 21st of the Astral Moon. Last we checked, Fable was mad at us. Kumo was trying to kill their parents because they found out their parents they thought were dead were alive. And yeah. You know your quests are getting weirder by the day. I mean, no one's forcing you to take that one. Unless you have one on basilisk swarms waiting in the back, I think I'm good with this one. No basilisks, I'm afraid. Eager to kill some parental figures? You know it. Speaking of family, you haven't brought up your sister in a while. Oh, that's me. Speaking of family, you haven't brought up your sister in a while. How is she? I don't know. We no longer speak. Oh, I didn't know that. You two were unbeatable when it came to bar fights. Yeah, I love her, but she's become a little too much like our parents, so I need to love her from afar. Or I wouldn't be loving myself very much. I'm sorry to hear that. Cutting her off must have hurt a lot. Must still hurt a lot. I come to terms with it. Came out stronger in the end. That's all I could do. Maybe. But the wounds stay, don't they? People wound you. That's what they do. And they can also heal you. Heh. That's a false sense of security. Eventually it all falls away. Not everyone is doomed to become your enemy, including yourself. And I think you're doomed to say the weirdest things possible whenever you get the chance. And it's a blessing, not a curse. If you want to see it that way. This rogue guy got any siblings? None that we know of. Their parents kind of faked their deaths, abandoned him when he was very young. They haven't exactly been writing postcards. Ah, guess no one would handle that very well. And what do you think about the whole killing them measure? Adds up to me. It does? Yeah. Not that they ever face any real consequences for being shitty. Always falls on the kids, doesn't it? And you think being murdered is an appropriate consequence? It's not about what I think. I'm just taking the job. Right. But I was thinking... Think less, or rather, think about what you're going to mix for me instead. So you're not even hesitating. A bounty hunter and keeper. Of monsters, I assumed. Not all monsters look unlike us. I thought you don't do charity. I don't. I expect a hefty payment by the end of this. The thief must have some jewels stored away somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. See? I see. So, drinks. Drinks, of course. Murder, how would you like to approach it? With a lot of force. Don't know how strong they are, but I need to be stronger. Maybe some defense in the mix would be good too, if their attack patterns turn out to be more complex than you thought. It seems like you listen to me sometimes. Your stories of fighting mirages and three-headed antelopes are far too compelling to forget. I'd hope so. You still got any of those frozen pine cones lying around? The ones you gave me for the mountain mimic? If those deadbeats picked up some primordial magic, I could use some elemental protection. Clever as always, Jade. Obviously. Plus that frost armor's pretty cool. Luckily for you and your coolness factor. No. You and your health. I got a big shipment of them in last month. Cool. I'll take some of those then. They're not contending with another approach? No. Unless... I guess there's another way. Is there now? Listen, some things are unfixable. If I'd saw both of my legs off... I'd saw both of my legs off before I'd ever talk to my folks again. But this wound is fresh. It could be possible to delay the inevitable. If I could convince him to leave, scare them off, banish them somewhere they can't hurt him. That way he can find them later if he ever changes his mind. Maybe this rift isn't completely irreparable after all. It sounds like you're asking for some charisma. And some speed. Should hurry up before he does anything drastic himself. Yep, plus some dexterity might help too. You never know how they could react. Might have to dodge some blows. Huh, might have to. You got any inspiration garbage lying around? I'm not so good with words when it comes to situations like this, and I might have to inspire them to be a little less awful. I could offer you either Thunder Sage or Honey Flowers. Whatever you prefer. You choose. About it all. Charisma, dexterity, inspiration. It's the less violent route, but it's not what he asked for. So I won't complain about a strength and defense mix either, as long as you throw frost armor in. I think my decision about this would be tinted by my own experiences. So please, a little help? Always, Jade. Thank you for asking. Make sure to leave Onyx some leftovers. She's thirsty. Could do Honey Flower or Thunder Sage. Okay. So I can't do Silent Owl if I want to do... Actually, no, I can't do that at all because it's not charisma. So I could do Thousand Winds. Or Sunny Breeze. I cannot do the Spoken Heart. Interesting. Hi, Perry. Were you fiddling with the new collaboration function in Twitch? Because I got a little message from you. I was checking. It's okay. I saw it come in and I'm like, really? Perry's online? It says they're offline. You're good people. I gave you permission to send one of those to me. Plus, we talked about doing that Monster Hunter collab, so you might need that. Let's do a Sunny Breeze. Definitely not that. Definitely not that. This would work. And Thunder Sage would work too. I'd rather do this. So it's 2 of these. And then 2 extra of these. Little for you, Ondu. Maybe this cause isn't as lost as we think it is. If they can't be reasoned with, I can always trick them and kill them in that way, yes. But I guess I'll try talking first. Let's hope this is the right choice. Don't you trust me? You wish. Don't forget to fill me in on your success. If I have any charisma left in me, you'll be sure to hear about it. Until then, don't tell him what I'm doing. I shall keep this a secret between us. You do love those. Typical Fae, I guess. Don't take too many names while I'm gone. I wouldn't dream of it. We're Fae? Nah, man, you gotta be careful with that ethereal bamboo. I mean, it's super cool and all, but if you cut it the wrong way, it's gonna charge up and whoosh, gone you are. Sucked in the ethereal weave. Oh, well. You know, like those fishies that kill you if you cook them the wrong way. Fish? Yes, they look like balls with spikes. Don't know about the name, though. You mean pufferfish? That! Whoa, what? Wait, you're here too. You're also here too. Lol. Sure am. You're looking fire. Nice drip. Thank you, Iniko. Nico, can we stay on topic, please? Topic. Right. So I heard any type of vibration can trigger a small rift. It's like disturbing a sleeping dragon. Wrong move and the world's faltering and whatnot. So you're saying if I use my bow the wrong way, I could open up a rift and we'd be lost in the ethereal weave? Bet. It'd suck big time, but alas. Though, can't entirely be sure. I mean, what's the fun in knowing everything for sure? Don't be basic. Embrace the chaos. As long as you don't play any wrong notes, you should be fine. Nothing easier than that. Especially under pressure. Especially then, I'm sure. And you've got nothing to worry about, friend. Might even come in handy one day. That the person that made your instrument must have had at least, like, one thought about making it like that. They did. Many thoughts, actually. Oh, God. Hex and Iniko in the same room. Good mythical morning, innkeeper. I know, theopractically it's early afternoon, but who cares? Good theopractical morning, Hex. Almost there. You forgot the mythical. Good mythical theopractical morning. Better. Okay, listen up. I found this little leaflet on your notice board. And I saw you're finally sending someone out to investigate that abandoned wizard tower. And I just decided that someone is me. I've been wanting to see what's up there for a while now. Talk about good timing. Did you just say wizard tower? What's the tea? Well, there's an abandoned wizard tower near Niverduff on a small island called Morlia. Fucking names in this game. Ah, the one with the worms. I think you can find worms in any ecosystem. That's what they want you to think. Sure. Either way, no one's seen the Wizard of Morlia in quite some time. So they say. And I've been dying to know what else he might be hiding in that tower. I bet a lot of explosives. I'm more hoping to find scrolls of ancient magic and semi-cursed objects. Oh, and of course books of forgotten knowledge. Rumor has it he left behind quite a hoard of peculiar trinkets. Surely, after all, it states in this leaflet. Traps? Puzzles? Must be something very valuable hidden there. Maybe in the key to immortality. Or they were bored. Admittedly, I don't design puzzles when I'm bored, though. I blow things up. I love when things go boom. Same. You know what? What? I think you should take me and Void Boy along. Listen, you see trinkets and I'm all in. I mean, the entropy we'd create if we traveled as a trio would be immaculate. We'd be able to tackle the wizard's puzzles and deathly traps with wits and violence and music. You have my lockpicks. And my hay gum. Maybe the ethereal weave could even help. Ethereal bamboo, huh? An ethereal weave... But an ethereal weave escape would only work with Caribbean silk? Huh? The ghost spiders of Caribbean use their silk to spin the weave. The good thing these strings are made of Caribbean silk then. Great! We can use your Hagum as our plan C escape. Should the wizard be home after all, or foster any monsters in any traps, your Hagum will be our way out. By dipping into the ethereal weave? Don't worry, it's like dreaming or teleporting. You just have to find your way back out. We'll manage that. I'm a master teleporter. I'm sure our innkeeper friend here has the right drink for us. Perhaps something to give you some brain cells. And quick reflexes. So I'm hasty, I can easily evade traps. Good that I don't need any help with... Good that I don't need any help with that either. But shouldn't we be able to fight back fiercely in case something else is lurking in the tower? Lots of traps means lots of fire, so fire resistance might be helpful too. Fighting sounds good. I'd love to kill something, but I hate making decisions. I think the innkeeper should decide what to make. Okay, so something strong to barge in, fight our way through with fire resistance to survive lethal traps? Or something with brains that gives us focus and infused with haste? I'll see what I can do, but don't hold me responsible for whatever ends up happening. I would never... ever... What had haste? Minus for brains. So it has to be either the Saber Fang or the Golden Feather. No, we could do this one. Right? Brain, Wind, and Sword. Yeah, that would work. Saber Fang with the Silent Owl. Alright. So we got one more of these. And then 3 of these. I've got one of those, which they wanted. Bunch of smarts. Alright, Andu. Let's wish him luck. Here you go. Brains and quick reflexes. Thanks! I'm sure those will be of use for solving puzzles and evading traps. I'll be sad if not a single thing explodes. Explosions could damage all the loot. Maybe afterwards we could light a little fire? You know what we should do? What? We should take Jade along. She'd definitely be interested in the treasures too. An additional blade couldn't hurt. Any idea where we'd find her, innkeeper? I'm afraid she's already on a quest, so probably nowhere nearby. That's fine, we'll poach her. Good luck. Thank you, we'll return with a story worth telling. I can't wait. Bye, loser. Oh, that's the end of the day. How many people do I have out on quests right now? I think 4 groups? Because the cleric's out. We just sent 2 groups today, and we sent somebody out last time, too. Part 18, a well-deserved break. Hello, innkeeper. Look what I found. Looks like a rare specimen in Archie to me. I'm one of a kind. Oh, you two know each other already? Of course you do. You know pretty much everyone in this city, huh? Of course I know him. He's quite the celebrity in town. Oh, I suppose I am. He's Zenith's most favorite author. He even survived an assault by hordes of the vicious undead. Author? I guess I really am an author, yes. Bummer. And here I thought I could surprise you. How did the two of you meet? I think he spotted me on the street. Must have thought I had stories to tell, so he asked me if he could write my biography. What a unique way to call someone old. But she does have a lot of good stories to tell. Archie, how many manuscript topics do you want to collect before you actually finish something? Well, you see, it's always important to collect ideas. Life itself is the best source of inspiration for any artist. Look at him, he's so eager to write. I just couldn't refuse that that look in his big sparkly eyes. Writing ideas is so much fun! Not only for the detective's magical story, but also holding on to Theo's memories through writing is really helping me with his death. I can make sure the world doesn't forget about him. I'm glad you're doing a bit better now. Una, how come you want your biography to be written now? I don't really have a reason. I'm old, and I've seen a lot of stuff. It'd be sad if all that knowledge went to waste, right? It's not like you'll disappear any second now, is it? Of course not. Oh, I get it. A lot of terrible things have been happening lately. Don't be silly. We'll be fine. It's always nice to see most of your friends return during times like these. But most of them? Stuff like this happens every few decades. It's completely normal. If you say so. Are you going to pay Archie accordingly, though? That's what I'm here for. I'm pay him in drinks. And also I could use a little refreshing drink myself. I gotcha. Anything specific you'd like today, Archie? Oh, just the same as always. A drink to stay focused on my writing. To defend my brain against all those distracting thoughts. Coming right up. God, I can't stop coughing again. Frosted Lagoon. And he wanted defense, yes. Here you go. A boost to drink. A boost to drink your concentration. A drink to boost your concentration. Thank you so very much, dear innkeeper. Oh, this is delicious. I can feel an irresistible itch in my fingertips already. I'm always happy to oblige. So, Una, what's it for you today? Maybe something will give me enough strength and energy to tell this whippersnapper every little detail in my life. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, give me a quick second. I'll be back with your drink. Those are there. Got 1 blue. And 3 red. Oh, it shows the bonus ability in the center there. Some liquid stamina for the golden girl. Let's see if your skills are to be trusted, innkeeper. Oh! Archie, I hope you're ready for at least 600 pages. That's a lot. But you already agreed, so you don't have a choice. And now, my dear Archibald, we'll begin with the writing. Thank you for your hospitality, innkeeper. I'll see you later. Goodbye, innkeeper. I'll remember to keep a copy of the book for you. Signed, please. Of course. Very well. Goodbye, you two. Her. Finally, my service beast and I have returned. Welcome back, Minthy. Good to see you too, innkeeper. And surprisingly, your tavern's dry interior. I thought you might be appreciating the dampness of almost everything nowadays. Maybe while underwater, but wheels and mud do not mix. On land, I appreciate structurally sound and smooth wood flooring much more than its soggy alternatives. Not bad. You would too. Just step a few minutes past your tavern. You may get an idea of the things jammed in my spokes and smooshed between Casket and Kane's toes. I'll pass. And besides, stories from my patrons are much more enjoyable. Speaking of, how did the pearl hunt go? Honestly, it wasn't all that eventful. But before I go on, I could do with one of your drinks, innkeeper. Something to keep my mind clear of any irrelevant distractions for the journey back. Let me see what I can do. May this inspire boundless creativity. Just what I needed. If only I had a boundless supply of this drink while writing on my desk. Unfortunately, my establishment doesn't do deliveries. What a shame. But before you go on, I actually have something else for you. Ah, and here I thought I'd have to needle you for it again. What a pleasant surprise. My favorite kind. Here, a completely proofread manuscript, I hope. I certainly hope it's completed. Since my retrieval and your proofreading have been such a long time in the making, yes? Right. Long in the making. You should probably wash that red ink off your hands before it stains your mugs. Right. I was editing my recipes all night. Crazy story, actually. For another time, that is. I see. I will say, it's good to have these papers back in my hands. May I inquire as to why you asked for them back now? I decided to finally publish the book. What I have written about, it's very dear to my heart. I'm happy to finally get to share my writing with the world. Minthy the author. Has a nice ring to it. It'll be Mackenzie Catherine Pickin, actually. A very nice pen name. It was finally time I chose one. And something universal at that. Procrastination is a curse all its own. Sure is. So, about the pearl. Or pearls? Protection pearls. Like I said, it wasn't too eventful. I had tea with the Banshee of the Lonesome Lagoon, and she traded me pearls for objects of her desire. Mostly I promised her a signed copy of the book. Good for her. You know, I've been meaning to ask, if I may, what do you need the pearls for, exactly? I know you're often looking for them, but I was never quite sure why. Well, I'm sure you remember the curse I was bestowed with. Yes? The cursed plastic rings that amplify your magic to a painful degree? Exactly those. It caused quite a lot of issues for me and my body. Sometimes it feels the magic is eating away at me, slowly feasting on my organs and nerves. It's tearing me apart from the inside out as it gradually takes my health and life. The protection pearls help keep the mana in check. They bring it down to a manageable level. It helps the pain a lot. So you're saying you turn the pearls into a drink? Wonderful to see that that's your first solution to everything. Yes, on occasion. Mostly I grind them into ink for my tattoos. They're very versatile little beauties. I'm happy you could find some then. Now that I think about it, care to share? I'm sure they'd be great for my... Oh, it's me. Now that I think about it, care to share? I'm sure they'd be great for my drinks. Not so fast. For most people, they just amplify mana to ridiculous and dangerous degrees. And I don't want to be held responsible for the chaos your patrons could cause. However, maybe I can offer you something less extreme but still energizing? Here. Is this your infamous coffee recipe? After all these years, you finally trust me with it. It's time. I think you can finally make it without poisoning someone. I'll do my best. Thank you, Minthy. Perhaps it'll also help you keep your promises in time. Anyway, I think we're due to take our leave. Need to make some ink? Something like that. Plus, I promised Casket and Kane we'd check up on any primordial tennis balls we got washed up by the flood. I think I might have seen some in the bushes. We'll have them take a look on our way out. If all else fails, there's just to summon us up some. Nothing easier than that. With enough charisma, you can wish for anything, I suppose. It was lovely to see you again, innkeeper. Likewise, best of luck on your journey. And don't forget to send me a copy of that book. If you promise not to forget about its existence this time, I'll do my very best. I know you will, friend. I know you will. Okay, so I got a coffee recipe that day, and Archie's doing a memoir. So is this Quest Solutions Day, or is this... Yeah, these are flying by. Remnants, 27th of the Astral Moon. We've got 2 minutes left for the ad break. I'm actually going to fire this off early and just get it out of the way for us. So, all right, everybody, we're going to take 3 minutes off for some ads so that we do not get interrupted for the next day of what we're doing in the game. So, see you back in a couple minutes. Alright, everybody, we are back. Let me switch back over to the game. We are starting part 19, Remnants, 27th of the Astral Moon. Catalage? Welcome back, Jade. Was your quest successful? When have I ever failed? Well, you do look surprisingly unbloodied. Also, hello, Kumo. Kumo? Who's Kumo? That guy. New name, I'm guessing? No names here. Never had a name. Don't even know what names are. Am I just supposed to go along with that? You're supposed to make me a drink. Then we can talk. Fair enough. What can I get you? I've still got plans after this, but Onyx is pretty tired. So give me something that'll get her to keep up with my speed if I let her have a sip. Anything for Onyx? What's the coffee? Cursed coffee. Cursed coffee is strength? You peer inside the steaming chalice looking for your own distorted reflection. You find the darkest swirling depths. The blankness will be all-consuming, a gloom so bitter you might think you see the souls of the damned swimming inside. In reality, you're looking at a strong cup of coffee. That's it. And it is yet another swift strike. A drink for Onyx and for you, but mostly Onyx. Not too bad. Concerning to see you know me so well. Being a regular does have its perks. So, names? Let's start with the story first. You love those, right? You know it. I'll spare you the details of my journey to Borkum. Though I didn't miss the chance to make some extra money along the way. Everyone thought I was the right one for their jobs. They helped me with the quest, too. Squeezed a good description out of the renegade parents out of some red dune merchant who was in a deep dispute with a blue-crowned elephant. Oh, I'd love to hear that story, actually. Not my problem. Asking a couple pointed questions got me to the inn the deadbeats were staying at. Problem with people is they can't exactly kill them in broad daylight. With monsters, you'd be thanked for doing so. With people, you've got to be patient. So I did what anyone would have done in my situation. I posed as a tour guide. And they believed you. Sure did. And Nika was right, your drinks are great for pulling scams. I'm happy to hear that. I offered them a tour of the nearby Wait and See. Wait and see. Oh my god, the Wait and See. The Wait and See. Ah. Oh, I love that. I led him to an area I already knew was shunned by actual tour guides because of the unpredictable tides. Gave him the spiel about how a battle of the Order of Starlight took place there, yada yada yada. Pretty soon their eyes were glued to some starfish playing in the mud. It was a perfect opportunity to get it over with quickly. Obviously I wasn't going to kill them just then. They needed a chance to run, but I had to scare them first. I raised my spear above my head and was about to go for a warning strike when I heard this zinging sound. I deflected the knife that was flung my way at the last second. It shattered against the ground. All three of us turned and saw this cloaked Echo reaching for another knife. He had his hood pulled up, knives and daggers strapped all over his body. Even the air seemed to go darker around him. Looked like a real shadow bane. I trained under them. Impressive. Those deadbeats thought I was protecting them from him. Should have seen the look on their faces when I said I was there to kill them. I turned back, wanting to refocus on my simple strike, when I was interrupted by a I turned back, wanting to refocus on my warning strike, when I was interrupted by a simple stop. It was said in this deep, raspy, incredibly fake voice that sounded like some sort of proper degenerate. Listen, Jade, I'm doing my best here. I'm not a proper VA. Likely the two bumps thought we were fighting about who'd get to kill them. Their approach to the situation was to immediately try and bribe us. I told them to shut it. They asked me what I wanted then, if it wasn't money or words. So I turned to our little Shadowbane and asked what he wanted. He just stood there quietly. Can't blame him. They're a little scarier than your parents. So you helped him with the decision? Not exactly. I walked over to him and handed him my spear. She said, "This is your choice. Make it." It felt like she was passing some of her courage on to me. He stepped forward, my spear in his hand, and took off his hood. He was... I'll spare you the details. They recognized him, of course. Fuck! They had the audacity to act surprised. Surprised is one way to put it. When they talked, they sounded so... like they thought I had died. You could have. They left you. I wanted to say something. Anything. Yell, tell them to get lost, scream at them for what they'd done to me, but... all that came out was, "Why did you leave?" Their silence went on for so long. Would have been longer if those tides hadn't come rushing in. And you did kind of walk into that one. Kind of. Luckily, I was quick. Got all of us up on some muddy rock that the waves couldn't reach. How long were you up there for? A couple of hours. Left us a lot of time to talk. Did you? Yes, a lot. For example, did you know the primordial flood was caused by the pyre erupting? The pyre? You mean the biggest volcano in all of Asteria, nestled right in Leviathan's domain? Yeah, apparently it erupted and then collapsed. Covered all the primordial sea in ash and set off a tsunami. It should not be doing that. No. Do you think powerful magic was afoot? Probably not. Why what use is a giant tsunami to anyone? Maybe they wanted to be wet? Probably not. Are tsunamis and their causes all you and your parents talked about? No. Mostly we talked about the leaving thing. They said not a day went by where they didn't regret what they'd done. I asked why they didn't come back then. They didn't have an answer for that. Mom said she was proud of my knife throwing skills, though. I never thought they'd apologize. They owned up to all of it, as awful as it was. I hadn't planned for that. They wanted to make up for everything and be a part of my life. They also said it was up to me, and what I wanted. And what did you want? A family. Is that stupid? No, it's not. So you forgave them? No, not yet. I have to see if they actually meant what they said first. I can't trust them right now. We don't really know each other anymore. Who knows if we'll get along. But they did say they wanted to get to know me, and I think I might like that too. They're just so different. It feels like I'm angry at people that don't exist anymore. And you're still allowed to be angry. Even if they changed, they did hurt you. Neither forgiveness nor forgetting is required. It just feels unfair. Like I'm harboring resentment for ghosts. But I'll try to be honest with them. I owe that to myself. Plus, Jay threatened to decapitate them if they ever hurt me again. And they'd stand no chance? None.
Could I have a drink now, too?
Sure, let's trade.
Right. A secret?
No, a name. I assume Jay didn't know you as Kuma because your parents didn't call you that.
Correct.
What did they call you then?
I don't... I'm not...
I'll trade you my name. Just give the guy a drink. Your first name? Those are quite precious to me, Maida, right? Very. See, it is a secret to trade for. I'm listening. Ulyssia. A beautiful name. I don't respond to flattery, but thank you.
It's definitely better than mine.
Yours fits you.
It does not.
If you say so. So, not Ulyssia. What would you like in exchange?
Maybe something that'll stop me from choking on my words. In case I have to do more of this emotional thing.
I've definitely got something for that. Just another charisma drink for the rogue. Here you are, some fluid emotional vulnerability.
It tastes a lot better than it sounds.
Feels a lot better too.
Maybe.
I'll still need to call you something else, though, if Kuma was out.
It is.
What have you got for me, then?
I don't... I'm running out of names. Jade, can I...
Nope, my name.
Fine. How about... Dave.
You know what? Sure, I'll go with that. I'm proud of you, Dave. For everything you've gone through, and for choosing what's right for you.
Thank you.
Do you need a hug?
May have already gotten one from Jade.
Speaking of me, I've got to go. Want to check in with Grace and her goons. See you around, Airboy.
See you around, Ulyssia.
What about you? Care to linger a little longer?
I need some time to think all this over. Maybe even feel it, too. Is Fable back yet? I think cheesecake would make for a great distraction right about now.
No. I thought maybe you ran into them on the way back.
I didn't. So Melli isn't back yet either?
No, I'm afraid not.
Cool, great. I guess I'll talk too.
Carolyn? And your parents?
Maybe. Do you think they still love me?
I don't know. I hope they do. I hope they'll love you well. But I don't know. I do know that other people love you, and that if your parents fail to live up to what you deserve, you won't be loved any less.
I'd like to believe that. Sometimes I just think, even if my parents could leave me, anyone can.
Don't measure your worth by the actions of people that hurt you. Nothing good can come from that.
I'm very thankful to have met you. Anyway, I'm also part of the night or whatever, so I must go. Farewell.
See you soon. Oh, that's the whole day? That's the whole day! It's a lot more closure for quests than anything else.
I've still got like 1 to 2 more quests that I can actually do, though. Oh, these days are flying by super fast. Part 20, Chaos Protocol. Well, Fable should hopefully be back by now. Because she was... Or they were supposed to be doing a thing on the 30th. This might be the part where we start to get worried about Fable. Melli! From rags to riches. Innkeeper, surprise! Nice to see that you're back. Is Fable with you? No! Should they be? They were looking for you. They ain't a very good detective, then. I'm happy to see you well, Melli. Everyone was very worried about you. Why? I'm great at taking care of myself. You are, but where have you been all this time? Investigating things, obviously. Like the flood. My investigation led me to Morlia. More like, they did. Nico, Voy, Hexamine, I followed them to Morlia. They were talking about mysteries and puzzles, and I'm trying to solve a mystery, so... I couldn't let the opportunity pass me by. You're lucky. Usually people pay a lot of money to spend time with me. Why? Because I'm, like, famous? But I didn't go there because of you. I was following clues. Okay. I stay outside. My case isn't about the wizard. Not this time. Where's Hex, anyways? You know, doing wizard things. Like studying? Yeah. It's giving depression, to be honest. He immediately wanted to check out the spells we found. Though he did seem pretty disheartened. How come? Not sure. I guess he didn't find what he was looking for. Maybe because the world's greatest treasure was already traveling with him. What would that be? Never mind. He told us to keep an eye out for any time magic razzle bedazzle. But we found nothing. At least you managed to get inside and return safely. Yeah, this way was easy. The way there was easy peasy. We got there thanks to Nico pulling off a shape-shifting trick and pretending to be a merchant. Stole some guy's coat and face. Used his reputation to secure us a boat ride to Morlia. Said I wanted to meet with a real estate agent from the Majocracy to buy the island. I told them to pick us up in a week or so. By then we'd be far gone. What happened once you reached the island? I'm quite intrigued. Before you tell you anything, I'd like a drink. Something that goes down like honey will make my poetry flow like a wild river. Nothing easier than that. He wants charisma. Yeah, Thunder Sage should work. And the Sunny Breeze is 3 charisma, which is what they need. Some honey for those vocal cords. Enjoy. That's what I'm talking about. Amazing! Can we move on to the story now? You got somewhere to be? Nah, but I'm getting bored. We got to Morlia, an island that's so small it's basically the tower's wild backyard. As I walked between the crystalline roses, I expected to see secret passageways hiding around behind every corner. I almost brought you back a rose. Why didn't you? I thought you wouldn't like it. I would've. Oh, okay. That's, moving on. The tower itself reached so high, I thought I might be reaching out to kiss the moon itself. It was really tilted, about a 5-degree angle. I measured it with my paws. The bricks were still wet. I'm sure the tsunami shook its foundation. I think that the waves would have done us a favor and knocked down the door, but nope. That locked door was the first challenge.
Inigo's lockpicks broke. Seemed like a skill issue. Broke? Skill issue? Bro. The door ate my lockpicks. Door mimic. A classic first step to securing your establishment. You talk like you've seen one before. Have you ever tried to open my door when the inn's closed? No. If you do, don't use any lockpicks and take care of your fingertips. So, how did you get inside? By charming it. Hex forgot his spellbook and couldn't get the arcane lock-unlock spell to work. And obviously it wouldn't let us in just like that. So I decided to play the Mimic a tune. Yeah, that was amazing, bro. Your fancy tunes are the GOAT. I was nervous. I'd never played in front of a Mimic before, so I wasn't sure what their taste in music was. I decided to play something emotional, something that would melt its metaphorical heart. A song of woe. Who would have thought it would literally melt? Yeah. I began playing the first tune and the lock started weeping before I reached the chorus. Tears were streaming down its face. And as if they were made of hot... And as if they were very hot or made of acid, the door melted away. And afterwards, the lock just lay in a puddle of wood, sobbing and thanking me for my performance. That's not a very sturdy lock. It just sounds very in touch with its emotions. We stepped over the door's remains and into the tower. So much taller and bigger on the inside. Like a pocket dimension. So freaking cute. Cute. So freaking cool. Except the tower can't really fit in your pocket. Bet. Hex walked in. Guy was really distracted. He didn't even listen to my poem about the symbolic relationship between axe and door. For a long time we didn't encounter anything. Just a long hallway. No doors, only a bunch of strange paintings. Of course, most hallways can't go on forever, so eventually we reached the staircase. After what felt like 5.5 minutes. Eternity. Meanwhile, I was outside investigating the flora and fauna. Everything was peculiar, like it was all from another world. The colors were very different. Very blue, almost spectral. There was a lot of spider webs, or yarn, not sure which. Suddenly, the ground shook and almost knocked me off my feet. Who would have guessed there were pressure plates on those stairs? I wasn't paying attention and got too careless. One wrong step and a pressure plate triggered an explosion and... clonk! The whole staircase began crumbling down into a pit of nothingness. Bit by bit, starting from the bottom. I rushed backwards to safety, away from the weird wizard abyss. I stumbled, and if it hadn't been for Hex, I'd be mush. He grabbed my hand and pulled me up. But he really isn't the strongest, so we almost stumbled back down together instead. Figured I just couldn't leave them to follow their pathetic destiny. So I zoomed down to grab Hex by his collar and pulled both him and Boy back up. Thank you for saving us, Nico. No problem, Boy. Don't get used to it. Didn't you expect a trap like that? After all, the Great Wizard would want to protect their treasure. I guess we were just a little distracted by all the gold hanging from the walls. The staircase ended in a wondrous library that sprawled endlessly higher around the tower's inside walls. We lost sight at the bottom in the first row of books. A lot of them were drenched. Didn't seem like the tower was waterproof. There was still primordial water dripping from somewhere above. We couldn't make out the ceiling. Tried to reach it though. The second story of the spiral staircase library had 3 paths leading away. Each path ended in a door, and all doors were closed and marked with runes or pretty paintings and rusty old locks. I got sucked into looking into the library's beautiful murals. Each of them depicted a different story. One of them was a mosaic of mirrors. That one was my favorite. Watching Hex look at books was like reading a thriller. Almost every second book was triggered with a trap, but he figured out the pattern quickly. Something Fibonacci, I don't know. Once I was able to pry myself away from the murals, I began looking for spell things. I knew Hex was most interested in those, and you help when you can. I didn't. I mostly looked at the small treasures lying around. There's this really cool staff with a chunk of a gemstone embedded at the top. Imagine the damage you could do with that. But I also found something else really cool. Here, take a look. It's dope, right? What is this? It's a weather jar, duh. It shows what the weather's like in another realm. Let's see, let me guess. Avalon? I knew you'd get it. I found some spell scrolls. One of them had gold runes on it, hex like that one, but he didn't love it, you know. Then, nestled between a few red velvet armchairs, I found a glass case. It had a golden frame and a scroll placed just inside, neatly in the middle. The scroll was floating and all that. I knew Hex was looking for more spells, so I called for him. And as soon as I mentioned an oddly floating scroll, he came sprinting upwards, staring at the glass case. You already know the scroll tucked into his coat. Honestly, I was expecting him to be carrying half the library at that point. But I guess that would have been too heavy for him. Of course, the stupid glass case was also a puzzle. It had no lock, no lid, no nothing, just glass in a gold frame. The scroll itself was glowing as promising blue. As he just breaking the glass, Hex gave me his finest death glare. So he investigated the puzzle himself? While they were doing all the boring side quests, I made sure to stuff my pockets. Found a jeweled silver paperweight shaped like a bird that'd make for a great blunt weapon. Hex was too scared we destroyed the scroll by triggering another contraption, so he suggested we look around in the adjacent rooms. The riddle doors. Hex only had to look at them for a mere second before figuring them out. Apparently all those murals and runes were referencing the story hidden somewhere in the library. So he made us search for it. It was tricky, we didn't want to trigger the book traps after all. It's like the library knew what would tempt us the most. I kept seeing books about forgotten songs, rare instruments, and romantic poetry. And I saw books about burglary and fraud. Even to attack you to the ground one time so you wouldn't blow us all up. Who can resist a good scheme? It was kind of exciting, seeing Hex hop up and down the stairs looking for the right books. First password was password, the second password was passwords past the password. And the third one was passwords past passwords password. You wish, but no. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy to crack. Good for you. First room was an alchemy lab full of apparatus that I'd never seen before. Most of the liquids had gone dry, but Hex insisted on taking what was ever left along with us anyways. Wouldn't let me taste any, though. That nerd was more interested in the study hidden behind the second door. He was really determined to crack all of that old wizard mysteries. We helped where we could, but listen, I only have like 3 brain cells. The soundscape of the tower was kind of depressing. Silence broken only by the dripping sound of water and the creaking of old wood. So I sweetened it with a song. It was very easy to get in the flow with that bomb music, Voyo. Thank you. X didn't find a key to the glass case, but at least found a blueprint showing how it was built. Maybe you can find out how to open it using that. Wouldn't that be nice? He was pretty beaten up about everything, though. Yeah, couldn't figure out what he was looking for. Couldn't find what he was looking for. Not even in the third room? No. That one was a gym. Didn't know wizards worked out. It was just a distraction from the hidden vault. The hidden vault? Anything good in there? Oh yeah, more than our arms could carry. A bunch of artifacts. Most of them probably cursed. Which makes them even cooler. Innkeeper, you don't even need know the funniest part yet. Enlighten me. The whole time, the wizard had a spare key to the tower under the doormat. The oldest habit of all time, and we didn't even think about checking it. I did, but I wanted them to find it for themselves. When I left the tower, I was at the beach with Jade. She had arrived a while ago to pick us up and was teaching Onyx new tricks. She helped us heave all the loot onto her boat. We couldn't take everything with us, so we decided to head back again another day. There's one thing that doesn't make sense in this equation, though. That would be... Unico, Voy, and Hex traveled alone. Except for me, they're stowaway. Yet, I found a fresh set of footprints by the coast, before Jade ever even arrived. Like there'd been a 5th person on the island. Maybe somebody was there shortly before us. We didn't even notice, though. Just we didn't notice Melina. Sorry for staying hidden for so long. Don't apologize. I just think it proves your skills as a detective. We've got a lot to learn from you. What a story. I can't wait to share with Archie. I'll be on my way now. Gotta check up on Hex to make sure he didn't accidentally take a book mimic home. You coming with, Nico? Sure thing. So long, innkeeper. Goodbye, innkeeper. Don't miss me too much. I'll try not to. Nice to see you and me, innkeeper. Indeed. I'm glad you're back. Making it sound like I was lost or kidnapped. I was just investigating. Without telling anyone? I don't need to tell anyone where I'm going. People care about you, Melli. They get worried if they don't know where you are. Oh. I'm not used to that. But I care about people too, like you. And that's good to hear.
Melli!
Hi, Aura. Hi, Dave.
Oh, that name is so outdated. You're back!
I am. Did you miss me?
Did I? I was just very worried. What?
You called me Melli.
What about it?
You've never done that before.
I'm sure I have.
You even said you'd never call me Melli.
I'm just glad you're back.
Welcome back to my tavern, Dave. That's a cute one.
Yeah, I got it on my latest quest.
Dave, you made a good choice. I also went on a quest. Well, at first I wanted to find the moon swamps. You know, the mysterious magical swamp that's said to be magically hidden and only appears in foggy but starry nights. I heard they're somewhere in the moon swamp near the portal. I heard they're somewhere in the moon swamp near the portal to the Twilight Chasm. And did you find anything? No, I did find some weird waymarkers made of bones that seemed to lead somewhere. They had "Do Not Touch" written on them, and the paint seemed pretty fresh, so it looked like the perfect clue. But then suddenly there were gallons of water everywhere. Luckily, I got away quick, and since it was already there, as Fasoa's greatest detective, it is my duty to discover the flood's origins. Well, at first it was more of a stowaway than a detective. Also, I couldn't figure out what...
Don't storm off like that ever again, you understand? I was so worried and no one knew anything about your whereabouts.
No. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled at you like that. It's just, I haven't really cared about anyone for so long. With you and Sable both suddenly gone, I didn't know what to do.
I thought you didn't care. After all, you went away even though I asked you to be more careful. I thought maybe you didn't want to be my trusty assistant after all. So I went to investigate alone.
I'm sorry for leaving.
It's alright. I'm used to people leaving and not coming back.
I do care, Melli. I'm just kind of new to this whole honesty thing. I'm kind of new to this whole empathy thing.
Yeah, I figured. If you'd like, I can fix your drink to help you with your words again.
Don't know if I'm up for another secret exchange.
It's on me today. You've got enough to worry about. So let me see what I can do for you. We're a good person. 1,000 wins, which is a charisma drink. Enjoy your magical liquid eloquence.
It doesn't taste that bad. This might actually help. So, your quests. Jade said you were stranded on Morley?
Yep, followed 3 very suspicious looking fellas and somehow ended up on that island. I always run into wizards and magic when I'm out overseas. Traps! Traps are everywhere.
Sounds very dangerous.
A detective's always seeking thrills. Make sure to be more careful, I promise.
It's not about that. I know you know how to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't have solved the T-Rex case.
Heh.
But don't keep putting your own life at risk in exchange for quick adventures. Luckily, nothing major happened this time. This all could have ended very differently.
I know.
All I'm saying is, don't disappear again. Please. You're not alone anymore. You don't have to do everything by yourself.
Like you're one to talk. To be fair, Dave does have good points. Even though they're guilty themselves, both of you are. But you two have also made a lot of progress already. And I'm glad both of you made it back safely.
Heard anything from Fable yet?
No, not yet. What about Carolyn?
She came back after the flood. Currently, she's investigating some undead sightings in the Pale Woods.
Do you know when she'll be back? No, but the two of you can wait here for her if you want. Yes, please. I want to stay until Carolyn gets back.
Alright, I'll keep you company.
How about I spice up your wait with another drink?
I'll pass.
Oh, but I'd like one, please. Of course. Do you want anything specific? The whole adventure was pretty exhausting. Maybe something to combat my mental tiredness? Nothing easier than that. Brain drink. Sparkling Nebula. Let's see if this will wake you up again. Oh, thank you. This is delicious. I can feel my synapses connecting. Now that I had some time to think about it, I think I figured out why Hex was so bummed about the loot.
Care to share your insight with us?
But of course. You're the younger sister, right? What always struck me as odd, she looks much older than him. So what if she just ages faster than he does? And he expected to find some very special loot in that wizard tower, but didn't find any. So what if he was looking for something to extend her life? Like a scroll of immortality.
What a foolish idea.
Hey!
Not you, Hex. Even if it's tempting, those are powers no one should interfere with.
I agree. What if she turns into a zombie? I've had enough of them.
Definitely.
We should tell him when we see him again. Or maybe we should tell Carolyn when she returns. She seems to be experienced in dealing with the undead. You think it'd be a long time before she gets back? I don't know. It could be very soon, but also could take just a few more days. You've had a long day. Aren't you tired, Melli? No. I'm not tired. At all.
Let's wait for a little bit longer. Maybe she'll show up and Fable with her.
Sounds good. Did she fall asleep?
Yeah. Maybe I should bring her home and wrap this up for tonight.
That's a good idea. You should get some rest as well. I'll let you know if I hear anything about Carolyn or Fable.
Alright. There's not much to do for me to do in this obstacle.
Except care for Melli.
She needs you. Yeah, I think you might be right.
Good night, Dave.
You know... forget about it. See ya.
Another date. Good lord. How many have I done so far? Is this like the fourth? Third or fourth? Disaster, Tea, and Revelations. It's been a while since I saved. And before we get into the last Disaster, Tea, and Revelations, let's run that ad break again. Might be a little bit soon, but I want to splash some water on my face and get a snack. So we're going to run it a little bit early and we'll be right back.
Okay, everyone, we are back. Chapter 21. Disaster, Tea, and Revelations. Ever blooming. Welcome back. It's good to see you both again. What quest do I have left? First flame Leviathan ever bestowed upon mankind burns in the temple in the highlands. Capital's protected and roots of divine. Stranger with crepes. I know what that one's for. Twilight Chasm. So we've got like 3 quests here, maybe. But nothing that's ready yet. Welcome back. It's good to see you both again. Hold your enthusiasm, innkeeper. We bring tales of disaster. I don't mind a little disaster in my tales. After all, you tell them so well. She really does. As do you, Clay. Thank you. I hope my stories are as good as your drinks. They are to me. Speaking of which, can I offer you a drink in exchange for a little insight into your disasters? That'd be great. Something that feels strong and magic-y, right? You remembered! Yeah, that's the one. Coming right up. Gonna give the barbarians some coffee. Something tasty and strong, but hopefully not disastrous. Very tasty, very strong. You really got the best drinks around. Happy to hear that, Clay. Tia, you're bursting at the seams. And with the archives. Fun! Were they? Mayhaps. The Bleak Stalkers were... bleak? Cute. Cute. Very! Jay told us where we'd find the entrance to the archives. When we got there, we found it surrounded by Bleak Stalkers. They were quite numerous. And so, shaped, I decided to ask them if they could let us through. And I thought he might need some help with that. So I called on your honey flowers and extended my divine light to him. Made him glow softly, and they all flocked to him like moths to a gentle flame. Do you know they have velvety wings so they can fold into their bodies? I didn't, and that's fascinating. They were so cuddly and showed up their crawling skills in exchange for carrots. I asked them if they'd like to be our tour guides, and they were so excited. They'd never been tour guides before, and at first, they thought it involved eating people. I might have acted a bit standoffish when trying to correct their misconception. Clay was able to convey the message much better. He's very good at explaining things. I think he really understands people. And that helps him meet them where they're at. I try to. Everyone has their own way of understanding things, and I think that's beautiful. I envy your empathetic approach to life, Clay. Thank you, but you've got your own strengths. Like how you're a master of strategy, or how you're so good at making people feel safe. I suppose we make a great team. And the best, I might say. We made a great team with the Bleak Stalkers, too. They led us right in the archives, which were huge. Large parts of the Everbloom had collapsed, but even the explorable sections were unbelievably spacious. We had no time for a proper tour, unfortunately. We had to make it back in time for the barbecue, after all. That meant we had to be efficient during our search. Though we did take a break to admire the artist's hall the creatures excitedly led us to. We found abandoned pottery equipment that distracted us a little too much. Using more time than was perhaps appropriate, we molded tiny versions of the little critters, as a gift to them. They loved them. Afterwards, we split up to cover more ground. Each of us was guided by a group of bleak stalkers. A dangerous choice. That's when the monsters get you. That's what Clay said, so I enchanted the friendship bracelets. That way they would sense in which direction the other person was located. So neither of us would get lost. It was so smart. It was very useful. I see you kept yours on. I did. They really helped us with navigating around the archives, too. It's a beautiful place, you know. I mean, everything's overgrown with vines or withered and full of termites. We could tell how much care had gone into building it. Some of the tree branches still had leaves on them. I saw a couple of stubborn lotus daisies trying to break through around the rocks. I taught the bleak stalkers how to water them. They loved drinking out of the watering can. But they also enjoyed sharing their water with the lotus daisies. Hopefully they'll go strong again soon. What a shame all the effort that went into building the archives was for nothing. But it wasn't. It meant something to someone once. And I could still feel that love in it, even during our visit. Maybe it'll even bloom again. It's called the Everbloom, right? Like forever? I wonder who named it. We should go back sometime and see if we can find out any information about the archives. I bet they knew some great drinking games. Perhaps we should honor their contributions by studying the knowledge they left behind. Why not both? They should be people first, symbols second. Oh, yes. I guess both would work too. Good idea, Clay. And what else did you find in the archives? Besides friends and the beauty and horrors of time, I mean. I got a little distracted when I asked our new friends to point me towards the cooking section. It was so vast. I found an ancient potato soup recipe. I can't wait to try it out. I can't wait for that one either. I also found something for you. For me? Yes, a recipe from a book on mixology. First I thought about taking the whole thing along, but it was a giant tome and the bleak stalkers were so attached to it. So I ripped out the page that looked the most interesting. We thought it would fit your repertoire. I think it does. Thank you very much. The Last Whisper. It's a speed drink! Oh my god, fucking finally. Something other than a swift strike. It stealths itself into your heart. It provides a boost to strength and speed. Will awaken your senses. Sometimes all you need is the right balance between elegance and brute force, and the correct translation of an ancient recipe. As for me, I asked them to lead me towards dangerous knowledge and soon found myself in a hidden study. The bleak stalkers didn't want to go inside, like they were scared of its contents. So I rewarded them with some treats and ventured inside alone. It was a complete mess, full of scriptures, scrolls, written ramblings that would be forbidden these days. A little exciting. And worrying. The papers I was able to translate spoke of the apocalypse, of the end of it all. There was research on the roots of the Aether tree and how to unbind them, written with shaking hands and fading ink. Was this more of a scholarly or mad scientist type of research? Hard to tell, the lines tend to blur with blasphemy. Do you know about the Aether tree? Because Tia gave me a whole presentation about it. I wouldn't mind a refresher. It's a giant tree. Good start. A world tree. That means our world rests on it. In it. Around it? Somewhere? In it, mostly. Depends on who you ask. The dragons guard the tree because they created it? Maybe, but definitely because they care for us. Thank you, Robbie. And since we live in it too, it should keep existing as it does now. Because no one wants their house to crumble. A lot of people would get hurt if something happened to everyone's home. That's true, but luckily for us, damaging the Aether Tree is impossible. It's larger than we could ever imagine. To us, it's really more of a concept than a tree. And the dragons defend it. Despite their oath of neutrality, they're no easy foes. There is one way. The sigils of Alcahest. The what now? The sigils of Alcahest. They're the key to destroying the Aether Tree, according to the scrolls I studied in the archive's candlelight. Are they some sort of spell? More of a manual of self-fulfilling prophecy, a way to break the cosmos in accordance with its own rules. For the tree to crumble, its foundation must be fractured. The 5 sigils of Alcahest representing the 5 dragons, each of which must be damaged to topple our world's balance. Only then can our cosmos reshape itself. The scroll spoke of experiments for creating a sigil. Unsuccessful experiments. And that's reassuring. Not quite. They were only unsuccessful back then. Next to the notes of old, I found others, written in cleaner, newer parchment, with unfaded ink. Much of it was incomprehensible, written in languages I've never seen before. But various sketches of whales caught my eye, as did the altered frostbite scrolls. And that sounds unsettlingly familiar. I fear the Starfall broke a sigil. By ripping holes in Cassiopeia's wings, it destabilized her flight. If she's damaged any further, time can be sent into disarray. Meanwhile, the tsunami, like I heard, didn't just play the archives. The waves broke down the barriers between the Primordial Sea and the Twilight Chasm in ways never seen before. So that's 2 broken sigils. And that's not good. What an incredible understatement. To witness one such sigil fracture would be anxiety-inducing enough. Knowing it's happened to 2 will keep me up for many nights. It's not 2, it's 3. 3? Alongside the notes, I found an old map with fresh markings. All the names were outdated, but the intention was clear. Marked were the 5 interplanar portals. 33 years ago, their sudden appearance tore fissures into Gaia. I believe they were the first sigil. Bad, right? Very. Who could have done this? I don't know. And why, of all things? If the Aether Tree collapses, or even shifted from its perfect balance, the destruction would end us all. Who would want that? No one thinking rationally, that's for sure. They may have a good reason for it. Maybe we can talk them out of it? I doubt it. Me too. Whoever it might be that's causing this, they only have 2 sigils left. Would be quite bad, right? Don't they say waking the Elder Dragon will start the apocalypse? They do. I feel like there's too many ways to start the apocalypse. Maybe they're all connected, and waking will break the last sigil. Although, I'd like to think breaking all the sigils is indeed impossible. Because it's impossible to reach Tuat in the spirit realm, correct? It's not exactly impossible. One can make it to the spirit dragon via the astral sea at the dawn of the dying moon. That's in 5 days, right? Yes, but worry not. To reach such a specific location with the astral realm, very specific rituals are necessary. And Gaia's portal to Cassiopeia is indispensable. Said portal is located in and safely protected by the Aperture, the stronghold of the Order of Starlight. And its rituals must be performed with the outstanding accuracy to withstand the treacherous astral currents. Only the highest ranked members of the Order are privy to this knowledge. And I guarantee you, all of us would rather die than aid in the destruction of this world. If the rest of them are half as stubborn as you are, I think we're well protected. Exactly. And that's good then. The rest is worse. What's bad is that we don't know who's behind this. Or why, by the dragons and the endless horizon, would anyone desire something so vile? I can already sense your next quest. But can I offer you a drink first? Your throat must be dry from all that exposition. I wouldn't say no to a drink. Perhaps something that'll keep my mind intact, defended from such lunacy. I feel like I'm going mad. Say no more. So, brain drink with defense.
I know, just defense drink. It's the second one of these. And then we're two of these. And defense.
A delicious defense against the absurdity of evil plots.
Thank you. This makes me feel a little less conspiratorial.
I needed a breather. You know what else would make for a great breather?
Fables barbecue?
Exactly.
You're right. That would be quite pleasant right now.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't think the barbecue's happening today.
Fable hasn't returned from their quest yet.
Oh. What quest are they on? Finding Melina. But we just saw Melli on the way here.
Perhaps they found another quest while out? Heroism can be infectious like that. Innkeep, what kind of drinks did you mix for them?
None. Maybe we should go look for them.
Maybe so.
Please do. No one's seen them in days. And the last things I said to them, I'd hate for those words to stay the last. Please help me find them.
Of course. I'm sure they could slay any monsters without us, but some extra hands wouldn't hurt.
But you'll have to deliver your apologies yourself. I'll slay that beast when it comes to it.
Very well. But first we must solve our urgent sigil problem. I feel like we're missing one piece. A piece of what? Cake? I'd like to order my usual cake, innkeeper.
I don't serve cake, never have.
Oh! Maybe you should. Another delicious delicacy would be...
Also still no blood.
Oh. The sorrow I'm feeling almost equals the grief I felt after the vampire glitter competition of 1389.
Oh?
I had to run out of glitter.
I could serve you one of my usual drinks to alleviate some of that heartache.
That would be splendid. I'd like something to enhance my mortal strength. No shopping bag shall hold me back today.
I'll see what I can do.
You're getting devil coffee. I'm making as many people devil coffee as I can. First coffee.
Here, with all the strength of a raging fire.
Thank you, dear innkeeper. My blood is boiling with euphoria.
Any particular reason for your shopping trip?
A very particular one, dear innkeeper. It's a matter of life and death. I must head out to purchase this wonderful substance known as comfort food immediately.
Do you know what comfort food is?
I haven't the slightest idea. But it is rumored to restore you mortals back to full health. I'm afraid Rhea will perish if she does not receive it.
And that sounds serious. Has she fallen ill?
A fatal case of something she calls being in the zone. I assume it's highly dangerous. She refused to move away from her drawing board for over a year now.
She even threw me out of the room upstairs when I offered her a blood pellet snack. How will her body handle another year without food? And I have some good news for you. Rhea hasn't been sketching for a year. You guys checked in yesterday. How fortunate! And as for your legendary item, you should ask her about it. Generally, everyone has a different idea of what they consider comfort food. How wondrous. Although something tells me you should give her some time before you go back upstairs to ask. Why is that? We call it intuition. I don't think intuition is a very good name, innkeeper. Want to help me find a better one? Of course! I'll think of one before the next 80 years are up. Thank you. I shall remain for a while. Once I've acquired the correct comfort food, I'll make sure my friend eats every last bite. Like a vampire mother hen to her vampiric chick. I didn't know there were vampire chickens. There aren't. Do you know that for certain? Yes. The sworn the ones at my family's estate had fangs. Chickens can't develop teeth. I thought we were comrades in blood hunger. Chickens are still very fascinating on their own. Did you know they have very colorful dreams? Oh, that's nice. I once helped a wild hen with her dream journal. I'll introduce you to sometime. My favorite thing about chickens is they purr when they're happy. What charming creatures. The more I learn about them, the more they remind me of vampires. So simple, sweet, and ferocious, their origin harbors one of the great mysteries of life. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The egg. The egg. Not going to weigh in? I'm intellectually withdrawing myself from this conversation. But unlike this unsolved mystery, I do know how vampires were created. Would you mind elaborating? Weren't you intellectually withdrawing? As a cleric of Cassiopeia, humility is a lifelong objective I strive towards. As such, I must admit when I need to concede words spoken in haste. Which would be now, I suppose. Please, Cal, if you wouldn't mind explaining what you just said. Expanding on what you just said. Certainly. Must have been over 5 centuries ago, when a scholar stole some of the immortal blood of the dragons. The scholar offered it to Queen Annabeth, who would become the vampire's monarch. I have never heard of Queen Annabeth. I think that was just the plot of a really challenging board game, Kyle. Oh, you're right. So then Mike was real after all. Mike? Yes! It's all coming back to me now. The first vampire that walked this world was the famous Mikhail. But most of us call him Mike. With a very close connection to the spirit dragon in his domain. Eventually, Mike struck a deal with Twat. In exchange for guarding the dragon's realm, he would get to live forever. But that didn't work out, I guess? Old Mike didn't read the fine print. The spirit dragon turned out to be a trickster. Twat turned him into a new form of undead creature, invulnerable to age and disease, but still weak to the blade. Blood was the only thing he could stomach to consume. With time, even sunlight became intolerable. Mike was no longer welcome among the living, but the dead didn't want him either. And that's how the first vampire was created. Fascinating. There's still so little known about the spirit dragon in his realm. Kyle, just how do you possess the knowledge that's considered ancient by today's standards? What knowledge? The knowledge you just told us about. Ah! I stumbled upon it in a grimoire I bought the other day at the local bookstore. Nope, that was the vampire romance book Kara recommended to you. Try again. Oh, but of course! There, Evelyn was such a history fanatic. How could I have not picked up a few stories? That was one of her favorites. I still dream of her deathly beautiful countenance as she narrated tales until the intruders stopped screaming. She always told a story of our progenitor, Mike, so softly. She would cradle a vial of his blood and her tone would turn so reverent. A secret to share with just me, she would say. Uh-oh. I didn't mean to break the last oath between us as well. I'm sure we can keep this a secret, right? A secret between new friends. If secrecy is how we repay you for sharing this with us, then so be it. Since you seem to have been very close to her, I wanted to let you know. We've traveled past Murrow Castle on our way back. It looked awfully damaged. The destruction looked so fresh, if we'd only passed by earlier. Cleveland spotted a heavily armored silhouette in the short distance away from the remains of the castle walls. We hurried over as quickly as possible, but the shadow was gone by the time we got there. As it was, only rubble remained. Was my dear Evelyn unharmed?
We don't know. The castle looked abandoned, like a ruin.
My Evelyn, what horrible fiend could have inflicted such damage? She must have fought back fiercely. May her opponent suffer twice the damage they inflicted upon her. What I wouldn't give to know her safe. I think I need to go ask Rhea about her comfort food. Let's give him some time to come to terms with what he just learned. Unionize! Oh dear. The undead are unionizing. Greetings, brave adventurers. Great morrow, innkeeper. There seems to be a few more bones than usual with you, Skelly. You observe correctly, my friend. They're a wonderful parting gift, aren't they not? They're a wonderful parting... I can't say that properly at all. Sure are. Like a southern thing going for her, or Cajun? You care to bring me up to speed, Care? Nah. You'll survive being left hanging for a few more minutes. You're bullying me. You're bullying your innkeeper, Care. Patience, young innkeeper. Scully's been waiting to tell you this story since we left Pale Woods. I will try to compose myself. This tale deserves a cracking of every last one of my rhetorical knuckles. Let's recount our tale properly, Dame Carolyn. Hang on. I think I'll go for one of your drinks first. That can be arranged. Something to keep my strength up. I didn't go flex my muscles much during our quest. A good one might net you a story. No pressure, Care. Okay, I've served 2 people coffee. Nope. Southern Brawler. A great drink for a great story. Are you lucky? I'd like to think luck has nothing to do with it. Perhaps not. I might have something else to cheer you up. Oh? Melli's back. Oh! Relieved? Like a great sword's been lifted off my shoulders. Is she alright? Yes, thought you might prefer to see for yourself. She and Dave left me their addresses to give to you. Who? Ah, you know them. Right, got it. Only one person will fit such an uninspired name. Huh. I better have apologized to Melli or else. You'll have to find out the details for yourself. Just don't keep them waiting for too long. You don't need to tell me that. Fable isn't back then? No. Sure are taking their time. Feel like looking for them yet? No, they're capable. Just my patience is starting to wear thin. You had some to begin with? You're pretty chatty for someone within greatsword distance. Right, right. Can I interest you in one of my drinks as well, Scully? With an offer like that, friend, how can a skeleton say no? Perhaps something to enhance my aura? Would like to do the proclamation of this tale proper justice. That's charisma. Yep.
Oh, no, peak sunrise is different. 1,000 winds? Let's do sunny breeze.
Please enjoy.
Oh my. They say a man doesn't make the man, but this drink alone has invigorated me plenty. I can already feel the warmth of flesh on my bones. On my bones again. Oh, I'm getting his voice completely wrong.
A pleasure to be of service.
Our quest was confusing. Inspiring.
My favorite flavor of quest.
Not enough fighting, in my opinion. Felt like my muscles were wasting away on the way back here. But the most important muscle of all received the superb workout. The brain. Metaphorically for me, of course.
I've been wondering about that, actually.
No. We're not even going to get started on that topic. I do have to agree, my friend. Let's not get distracted. Though I would be delighted to share my theories with you, innkeeper. Let me know when you have an hour to spare. Or 5. Now back to the task at hand. We started by making our way westward, though our progress was slow.
Any complications?
Yes, quite a few. Before embarking on this journey, I was woefully ignorant about the plight of the Fasoan farmers. The less than ideal weather conditions, the flood that ruined all our crops, and now this pesky undead problem. I was stricken with empathy for their struggle. Least we could do was offer up our means of transportation for any soul looking for a better life further north. So we switched carriages. 3 times. The 3rd time we gotten so far off course, it took us a whole day just to get back on track. On foot. But once our hike was over, we did get to spend a wonderful afternoon with Dame Carolyn's cousin, Lady Donica. That was nice, I guess.
The cousin with the undead snail problem, yes? Did you manage to liven up that garden for her?
Sure did. Just had to set out some cabbage, lay them somewhere that wouldn't be damaging any crops, and then... with one magnificent strike! Truly a sight to behold. It was just some undead snails. No need to have gotten so excited. Matched with the excitement, Lady Donica served us some positively delightful cups of tea. Better than any accompanying finger sandwiches that were some facts that I gleaned from observing the snails. Even lacking souls, they displayed some pack behavior. They acted like real animals, of course, but somehow I was struck with empathy for their plight. To unconsciously seek out a manner of instinctual action, despite the lack of anything to grant them a conscious objective. Is there a more transparent yearning for purpose than that? My apologies. It appears what they say about old age. You can't help but philosophize.
And you couldn't help but relate.
In a way. One can't help but wonder when any choice I make am truly my own, or just a post-mortem reflex of these old bones. Perhaps even my thirst for knowledge.
And yet your enjoyment of it seems genuine.
Truly, innkeeper, you have a way with words.
Just lots of experience.
Though that may be, my worries seem rather foolish now. I count myself as fortuitous that despite all of my memory lacks, I can delight in learning it all again. It does really matter when there's such an urge comes from. Anyhow, my apologies, Dame Carolyn. I am completely derailing our epic tale. Allow me to make up for it by continuing post haste. After we departed after that little bit cup of tea and finally headed for the Pale Wood. Lady Danica provided us with cart and a trusty steed, a cow with the most lovely temperament. Her name's Lucilla. I made sure to greet the gentleman that passed us on our way to the woods. Magnificent shadow armor he was wearing. Something about it felt truly familiar. Perhaps it was only my hope that we would look at just such a look so gallant after our quest. Lucilla valiantly took us to the edge of the forest, where maliciousness permeated the very air we breathed. What he means is, it stunk. Real bad.
We left loose a lot there. Sparing her the stench seemed like the right thing to do. And forth we ventured. Didn't take too long to find out what we were looking for. The place was crawling with them. Which also explained the bleeping smell. For some reason, the miasma didn't seem to bother me much. Most respectfully, you don't have a nose, Scully. Oh, of course! Anyways, there was a veritable horde before us. An army of undead creatures shambling their way through the forest. One gnawed tree at a time. They were delightfully interested in those trees, it's true. I was itching to tear into them. Remembering the plan, I stepped back, with a hand on my greatsword. The crucial part of a successful negotiation is you don't go in blind, and so we observed. The undead creatures were displaying similar patterns to those snails. They were just stumbling around senselessly. They seemed to be following a pack leader. A representative. That simplified things considerably. My first course of action was clear. I let Dame Carolyn know of my intentions. Seemed reasonable enough. While I circled the group to get the leader at the front, she remained hidden in the shadow of the thicket. I walked up to the leader, another skeleton, making sure I displayed an open and respectful disposition. I suppose they were not open and respectful in return? Nope. Before I could even react, the skeleton had bitten down on Scully's arm. Agony! Is what I would have said if I hadn't protected by my frost armor and your excellent drink mixing skills. Always glad to hear my drinks are protecting my clients on their quests. Dear friend, your drinks are astonishingly potent. Maybe too potent. As soon as the undead creature bit down, their teeth shattered upon impact. The leader recoiled immediately. Although those surrounding us froze, the leader fell to the ground, cradling their face in their hands. Cautiously, when they regained their composure, their expression was filled with joy. Still no idea how you can read an expression on a skull. They're actually quite expressive for a skeleton. Skeletons definitely do have expressions. You just have to get used to looking a little harder for them. Now you're just pulling my paw. I have no problem reading Skelly's expressions. He has a beautiful smile. No, you're just making me blush, you rascal. Let's move on. The teeth shattering was quite worrying. Maybe re-examine the bite marks on the trees around us. Peculiar, the bite marks were quite a bit more shallow than what we'd seen in other parts of the forest. Which means... all those undead creatures had severe dental issues. Lady was so happy because the frost armor's chill was dulling their pain. His teeth were also in truly poor condition. Looking at their behavior, that seemed to be causing them severe pain. Coupled with their hunger for trees, it became a never-ending cycle of suffering. It should have never gotten so bad. I asked them why they hadn't reported the issue to their necromancer. It was clearly starting to impact the fulfillment of their objective. That got them real heated. They tried to rip Scully apart again. But Dame Carolyn skillfully resolved the situation with a bit of intimidation. It turns out, they didn't even have dental. Carolyn, I'm with Scully on this one. They had no benefits, nothing. They were just expected to be quiet and follow orders. That don't sound right to me. It's a scam, that's what it is. No sick leave, no compensation, no PTO. They didn't want to hear it. We're doing what we love. We don't need any fancy benefits. You should have seen the state they were in. They couldn't even take a proper chomp out of the tree's outer bark anymore. What would have happened when the teeth deteriorated even further? The necromancer replaced it with another undead creature in a heartbeat. That was what Scully really got to him, I think. Words were just pouring out of my mouth, and I was elated they were the right ones. The light reflecting off the frost armor really dazzled him too. Any skeleton worth their calcium should be able to acquire such armor. They needn't be bound by such neglectful necromancy. My apologies. It appears I somewhat lost my composure there. You might be soon contracted to fulfill the first UFU gathering, Innkeep. I'm mixing those, definitely. Union for the Undead.
F 1755. Never forget your roots.
And they're welcome to visit anytime.
I think they still really want to improve their situation. Most respectfully, they promise to leave the Pale Woods alone as well. One of UFO's goals was to find a more sustainable way to deal with their obsession eventually. They're heading for the Necromancer now. There are a bunch of demands to settle. They graced us with a great deal of parting gifts before we left. We got the hawks that broke off of one of them when they attacked Dame Carolyn. The leader gave me the teeth that we couldn't put back onto their skull. Oh, and this eyeball. We were overjoyed when we managed to resolve our quest in a peaceful manner. Going to deny your resolution was pretty effective. Ugh, no, I screwed up Carolyn.
Good to know you're both happy with how it ended. And those are the outcomes I most enjoy hearing about from my patrons.
Oh! Well, we did get you something else as well, Innkeeper. Right. Here. Trees look really chewed on and dead. But the berries seem like they were thriving. They were the ones Elfie was going on about. Not that they're here to appreciate them now. I guess you can have them. Just set some aside to make Fable a drink when they're back.
Sounds fair.
Gooseberries. Also, when I was plucking the berries, the spirits of the trees gave us a little keepsake. Because they were so glad we stopped all that gnawing. Sadly, I don't have any more storage space left in my hat. So we wanted you to have it as well. Now we can always indulge the sweet memories whenever we visit.
I think I know just the place for it, thank you very much. And what the fuck is it, actually?
Gooseberry is -1 to speed. But it's invisibility. Golly, have you ever thought about becoming an advocate for this kind of stuff? Not that I can usually stand them, but you seem to really care about all this. Oh no, I'm but a mere heap of bones here to learn all that I can. But it is a gentleman's way to speak out when evil is committed in front of you. I don't suppose I will stop at doing just that anytime soon. Sounds good to me.
I still wonder what all those undead creatures were doing there.
No idea. We didn't ask. Hunger? Seemed like they were heading north before we talked to them.
Maybe they were searching for more trees?
Pale Woods is one of the largest forests in Fasor. I don't see a reason for them to leave that area before it was barren. Unless they were ordered to. Don't they typically come with a necromancer attached? You don't suppose that gentleman we encountered outside the woods could have been that very necromancer?
I don't think farmers wear armor like what you described.
Well, if I'd known what a dastardly negligent necromancer they were, I would never offered that greeting. Whoa. I just realized where they could have been heading. It's true there aren't many woods around here that compare to the Pale Woods. But that giant root in the capital must look pretty good to some tree-obsessed undeads. There might be tons more heading there right now.
Fuck indeed.
Just to clarify, you believe hordes of undead creatures are marching towards the capital? Well, towards the roots would be my guess.
I see.
They're headed towards Themis to gnaw at the divine roots, as if to...
Fell the Aether Tree.
Precisely. Not that such an action alone could destroy the whole thing, but it would certainly do some damage. What the hell are you talking about? Just as I stated, someone's trying to destroy the Aether Tree. The stars fall, the primordial flood, even the interplanetary portals. It's all part of a big plot. Was that not clear? No. Oh my! That's awful! And it's saying if that's true. Is it working? Unfortunately so. Or do you see stars in the night sky? I mean, there's one. There used to be more.
And we don't know who's behind it yet either. Well... Carolyn, Mr. Scully, the gentle person you greeted outside the woods, you thought he might be a necromancer?
I certainly bore the armor of one.
Did he seem like he wanted to kill everyone?
Not particularly. It can be hard to tell sometimes. Politeness and the desire for homicide aren't necessarily mutually exclusive.
Necromancers resurrect dead things to make undead creatures.
Indeed they do.
So, Scully, you were resurrected, right? Do you remember anything about it? I admit, at first I recalled very little of life from the start of my new life. I mostly stumbled around trying to remember my manners. My memories, rather, the memories of my body, which were also my memories, have been getting clearer lately. Let me refocus my thoughts. I believe I awakened in the archives, in the Everbloom. The Everbloom. Did you encounter any bleak stalkers? Why, I did indeed. They seemed very hungry for my bones. Such interesting creatures. They reminded me of the old intellect wombats. Those beasts still roam around for Soa. No. What are intellect wombats? Priorities to you. Scully, who woke you up? Ah, a gentleman of fine age. I believe he was there to do research? Remember candles held over notes scribbled on paper, ink stains on fingertips? He must have been near my friend's study. I remember I was looking for her when... After I woke, I simply left. How rude and inquisitive of me. I should have asked what he was researching. I could have helped. I'm glad you did not aid him. We found his notes. They spoke of the destruction of the universe. Did the guy from the woods remind you of the one in the archives? Now that you mention it. I wasn't conscious enough to remember faces when I rose, but I knew the armor looked familiar. I think I saw it when I first opened my eyes. Metaphorically, of course. I no longer have eyelids. The necromancer is behind all this. Is he trying to break the sigils to get to Tuat, the spirit dragon in the realm of death? Sigils? Are you perhaps speaking of the sigils of Alcahest? My friend was researching them once. I always thought it was a wild figment of her imagination. Seems like they're not, unfortunately. Do necromancers usually want to destroy Tuat? No, but they do defy his laws of life and death. Perhaps he craves access to all the souls the spirit dragon guards. Or he plans to destroy death once and for all with his perversions. But my dears, to destroy Tuat, one must find him first. That in itself would be quite the impossible task. Not exactly. The spirit realm is well protected, but there are ways to get to him. Can you kill death? I don't know, but merely attempting it sounds disastrous. Miss Anwar, Mr. Moore, Tuat is the god of death. No matter how insane the necromancer, no one can possess a weapon powerful enough to fight a god. Only weapons made by dragons can harm them. We all know this. You mean like Ur's great axe? A weapon forged by the dragon, for the dragons, by the dragons, and only for their claws. The axe... It could certainly cut through the barrier between the astral sea and the upper world, if not for Tuat himself. Not through Tuat himself. Would stealing an axe from a dragon count as a sigil? Alright, y'all lost me again. I talked about this already. Keep up. I'll explain later. It might count as a sigil if it awakens or damages their plane. Should not be awakened under any circumstances. Nor should their legendary weapon fall in the hands of a mere mortal. My, this is quite concerning. I'm right there with you. This seems like too insane of a plot. Even for some big bad guy. They always seem to be reaching for new heights in their dastardly schemes. If we're correct, this one plans to steal Ur's weapon, break their sigil, and then destroy Tuat. Dragons be with us. What about the undead creatures marching towards the capital? It must be a distraction, or a way to keep anyone who would interfere off his back. Quite the dangerous distraction, if you ask me. Those poor husks shouldn't be snacking away at those roots either, should they? No. And those sigils of alcohol zest you keep talking about could do what? Destroy the tree? The spirit realm rests above all others in the canopy of our world. If what we believe to be this monstrous plan succeeds, it would collapse down onto the rest of the Aether Tree. Not only would that free all dead souls, it would destroy the tree, our home, our cosmos, and everything below it. It would destroy our world as we know it. Not to mention, Tuat might die. I don't think I have to explain to you why death dying would be a bad thing. Once again, can he die? Wouldn't risk it. Though I believe this plot of his has to be limited somewhat, no? Perhaps to the transitional period between the astral moon and the dying moon? Only then would the veil between Cassiopeia and Tuat be thin enough for a ritual of such magnitude to succeed. Wait, what you mean is that this can only happen the night of the 35th of Cassiopeia and the 1st of Tuat? So it can only work in 4 days? Or next year? Precisely! I guess you can't have a ritual without unnecessarily complicated rules. It is a common courtesy. Clay, I've been wondering, remember that man we saw on our way back near Castle Moor? Yeah, you think he might have been the same guy? I do. Strange armor sounds familiar, as does the convenient proximity to destruction. And more so, that blood of the first vampire Kyle spoke of? Part of the ritual to safely traverse the astral sea involves having an associated anchor for your destination. To find Tuat, you need something connected to him. Like the blood of a vampire eternally bound to him? Yes, maybe our villain got his hands on it. Perhaps he knows more of Cassiopeia than I anticipated. All this out of context, oh shit. He's giving me a headache. Innkeep, got another drink to spare to help me with all these mess? Something powerful enough to get me through this. Anything for you, Care. Right, fine. You're being grouchy, have some coffee. I put all the strength I have into this drink. Enjoy. I think you just put parts of my sanity back together. Thank you, thank you kindly. Anytime. So, this madman, if he can't get the axe, he can't kill a spirit dragon, right? Correct. Great, let's stop him getting the axe then. Great idea. I know. Now, how do we do that? Well, first the necromancer needs to find it. For that, he'd have to get to Ur's realm. Next to the portals, that is entirely within the realm of possibility. One would simply have to journey through one of the portals to the Twilight Chasm, and then enter the endless caves to the Nightmare Realm. Nothing easier than that. Didn't Melli see some weird new bone way markers near the Twilight Chasm portal in the moon swamps? Could they have been there to remind someone, say a necromancer, of the way to the portal? They could. Good. The moon portals are much easier to reach than Borealis. We should be able to catch the necromancer before he ventures into the chasm, and most certainly before he gets the axe. Great. Let's go beat his axe. Hold on. What if you don't succeed? I have faith in you, but... he sounds powerful. How about a backup plan? I hate to say it, but you're not wrong. Thanks for looking out for us. If we don't manage to stop him from getting the weapon, we'd stand no chance in a fight against him. Even your divine strikes would be no match, Miss Anwar. That is true. We would need an incredibly powerful weapon to match his. Not sure if it's enough, but I have this sword I got from Baba. Let me see it. This is remarkable craftsmanship, infused with minor divine powers. Incredible. But I'm afraid even this cannot rival the Great Axe in any capacity. What if we mixed it with Dragonfire? What? Do you happen to have such a thing on hand, young lad? No, but I know where we can find some. The ever-burning flames in the highlands is the Dragonfire. The one you wanted to see, Tia. I think now might be a good time for that. You're right. Dragonfire merged with Carolyn's blessed sword? It wouldn't be as powerful as the axe, but it might give us a fighting chance. If we had a master craftsman to forge it, that is. Rhea. She's a great blacksmith. You're right, there's no one better for the job. I'm sure she'd love to forge such a weapon. And I'm sure you can convince her of the importance, Care. You got that right. Need the blacksmith recruiting to me. Very well. I'm sure Master Smith Frostcrypt will be delighted with this opportunity. Having her on our side makes us even more confident that we can stop this necromancer's plans. I have the utmost faith in us. I know that the aperture and its astral portal are well protected, even if we should fail. Though I don't believe we will, because I know I'm strong enough to best this battle, and that Clay is as well. And others too. Yes, the others too. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if the 4 of you will be enough. Don't worry, there's lots of people who can ask for help. Like you. Like me. Ask away. I knew we could count on you. You collect everything we talk about, right? And I try my best. Could you write us up 2 quests for all this? I think we should split our resources so we get the backup plan going at the same time. Good idea, young man. Plus, that'll give us an excuse to have your drinks to help us. Not that you need an excuse, but I appreciate you following my rituals. Oh, Tia's not liking this at all. I'll see what I can do. I should have something written up first thing in the morning. I trust you as you trust in us. Deeply? Yes. Deeply, with the knowledge that together we are stronger. We'll see you in the morning then. Carolyn, come with us. We owe you a few explanations before we make you do any persuasive work for us. You got that right. Let's go. I cannot miss out on more possible details. I shall see you in the morning, Innkeep. Thank you for all your help. Let's save the world, all right? Let's, Clay. Good luck. Oh boy. Carolyn's greatsword once belonged to her grandmother. I know you can fail quests by putting together the wrong pieces of information. Alright, first of all, we're going to try this one. The Heir of Dragonfire. Only a weapon forged in Dragonfire could ever dream to hold up against the legendary Great Axe of Ur. Luckily, a temple in the Highlands houses the ever-burning flame, an ancient gift from dragons that'll come in handy right now. And what better sword to reshape this flame than another gift from the realm heirs? An heirloom passed down to Carolyn with heroism scorched in its very essence. I've got another quest to do. Capitals wrapped in roots, the tree. they can't get enough fiber, but better to chomp down on the aether tree itself. What could possibly go wrong? The Dead Parade. A horde of undead is approaching the capital. Their insatiable hunger for local flora leads them to the exposed roots of the aether tree, and therefore the capital of Themis, since it lies nestled in the safety of the roots. This is a mere distraction so the necromancer can fulfill his true plan, but the undead must still be stopped before they hunger for flesh once more. Okay. The enemy aims for the destruction of the aether tree. He needs the great axe. Legend says the great axe lies here. The Twilight Chasm. World calamity is imminent, but there's one last way to save it. The only weapon strong enough to harm Tuat in the Aether Tree is the legendary Great Axe of Ur, and the personification of evil wants it desperately. But first he must make it through the Twilight Chasm, and for that he needs a portal. Sounds like a good location to stop him, right? And that's all I've got left. And that is a good time to stop for the night. I got 3 new quests that are going to start next week. We made a lot more progress than I thought we would. Usually we only do usually it's like an hour per day, and we just quickly shot through a bunch of them. But yeah, that is where we're going to call it for the night. So, let me see. Let me see who we can raid. You know, it's kind of nice these days. I'm a little flush for choice for who to raid. It's a nice situation to be in. What about this person? Yeah, let's see if we can raid them. So this is a nice person I've been chatting with a little bit on Twitter. So go over there, show them some love. They are playing The Sims 4. But thank you all for joining me. Next stream should be tomorrow night. We're going to be doing a chatting stream. Don't know what we're going to be doing in it yet, but that is the goal. And anyway, I will see you again later then. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever it is in your part of the world. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later.